What's going on, good people? Rich here.
It's your girl Ray P on the mic. What's going on, y'all?
We're back at it again with another episode of the Culture Garden podcast.
Hey,
We appreciate y'all tuning in. We are 2/3 of the Culture Garden podcast. Shout out to school.
shout out to
Me and,
school.
yeah, definitely, man. Me and Ray P gonna be holding down the fort on this episode, and we continue in Romance Month here at the Culture Garden
Ooh,
podcast. Before we get into today's episode, we do want to thank you as always. We never want to start by not thanking y'all for tuning in and taking your time to listen to us talk about movies that you love, that we love, and break some of this stuff down, rate them, have a real conversation about them. So we appreciate y'all doing that, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you are listening in your car, listening at work, wherever the case may be. And if you aren't familiar with our television feed, we do have a television feed called We Got Y'all. We are covering a couple shows over there right now. Your Honor, which comes on Showtime, and Harlem, which comes on Prime Video. We
baby.
just got the word today, as we're recording. We got the word today that Run the World on Stars, which we mentioned before, is finally
Cannot
coming
wait.
back in May.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I sent it to Rachel, and Rachel was like, May? We
That's
want
so
that shit
fun.
next week.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we'll be covering that on We Got Y'all as well. So we got a lot of good content. We've been enjoying it, man. Your Honor, listen, I don't know if y'all watch Your Honor on Showtime. If you haven't started it, trust me, if you started, you'll keep watching it. It's not one of them shows where you're gonna stop watching it. You'll be caught up before the season's over. They on it'll be episode 6, part 16 coming up this week. I don't want to get too much into it, but just watch that show. It's incredible. And these last 5 episodes are about to be crazy. Like
Y'all better
nuts.
tap in.
Yeah, please tap in. Um, Romance Month.
Yes.
Kicked it off with Brown Sugar, me, you in school.
Yeah.
And then we made a pivot to Malcolm and Marie, a movie that
That's
we
a
both
boy.
enjoy. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very, very interesting to watch, very fun to watch. And this week, we had the photograph.
Yeah, buddy.
Ray P, this was your choice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What made you want to choose this?
Um, I do I love this movie? I don't know, but I like it more and more the more times I watch it. I do
Okay.
remember seeing it in the theater. Um, and I don't want to say was unimpressed, but I left like that's it. I wanted more.
Yeah.
Niggas was sleep in the theater, like, oh my God. It wasn't
Hey.
boring. It just I wanted more. I left wanting more of the movie, more of the story. Um, maybe not so quiet as it's kept. If the movie solely focused on Shantae Adams, but um Christina and Isaac,
Yeah.
that ain't a bad film. Cause
It's not
I
a
think
bad film at
that
all.
is there. Yeah.
Not a bad film at all. And that's the mode. I was gonna have that in my notes to ask you.
Okay.
Um, because it is like A side, B side, as
Hmm.
far as what
Hmm.
you thought about each relationship and which one you found more intriguing. And I
Yeah.
thought that was more intriguing as well. But before we even get into that conversation, I agree with you everything you said as far as you like it more.
Hmm.
You like it the more you watch it.
Yeah.
Because my first watch it did not catch it in the theater. It
Mhm.
came out in 2020. We'll get into the stats here in a second, but it was in that time where, back in the day, we mentioned this on a few episodes. Movie can come out, you can be a month and a half, 2 months later, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, and still be able to see it, and still probably have another month after that. I went to go see it. I forgot to see it opening weekend, and by like week 4, it was out of theaters already.
It's out, it's gone. Yeah.
So I'm
I
like,
saw
damn,
it. I
like,
saw it by myself in the theaters. Mhm.
okay then, yeah. See, I missed out on it, so I watched it for the first time at the crib. I think when it was on HBO, wherever it made its
Okay.
run, or first run, and I was just expecting more, and I think that had a lot to do with Issa. That had a lot to do with Lakeith. Like I'm big fans of both of them. In a
Mhm.
romance film on Valentine's Day. And not to say I didn't like the film when I first watched it. I just wanted a little bit more, and
Yeah.
it felt a little disjointed.
Mhm.
But then after I watched it another time, I liked it a lot, and then another time after that, I started really growing on me, and I started noticing different stories, and I think that's
Mhm.
when the Christina Isaac angle really started playing in, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, then
That's the one. That's the story.
yeah. I love the uniqueness. I love how it intertwines those two stories, and I know we'll get into it, but It was released February 14th, Valentine's Day 2020.
Mhm.
Directed and written by Stella Meghie. She's directed 2 episodes of Insecure. So
Okay.
you have a lot of Insecure ties in this film. Obviously, the
Mhm.
director, you have Issa, you have
Fine ass Danielle.
Elon Noel. Elon Noel stars in this film, so you have a lot of representation there. And she directed season 3, episode 4, Fresh Like, and I think that's the one. That's the episode where she first moves out of Daniel's spot to
Okay.
her own little place. And then there was an episode in season 4, low key moving on. And quick shout out. I know we normally stop at the cast and director and the writers of the film as far as their like we give them their recognition, but can we just give
Mhm.
a quick shout out to very fittingly Robert Glasper, who scored this film?
Yo, my notes say the soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah, Robert Glasper scored this film, and I particularly want to give him a shout out because, embarrassingly, the internet showed his ass a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
and let us know they didn't know who Robert Glasper was. And listen, you know what you know, all right? You know what you know. I don't want to sit here and judge people for not knowing, but some things you should know.
Yeah. If
And you
you're
should
an
know who Robert
R&B
Glasper is.
head, I'll say that at first when that backflip nigga said who the fuck is Robert Glasper, I,
You
I
called him
was
the
like, what
backflip
the
nigga.
fuck? Yeah, that's why your music still sound like 2010. What the hell? But
Oh man, you know you can't talk about Breezy. They about to come at you.
what else is new? But if you really are an R&B person, you know who Robert Glasper is. If you really um study, quote unquote, or are into musicality, you know who Robert Glasper is.
Yeah.
Shout
The
out
whole
to him.
point is, if you don't know, you should know him. Look him up if you enjoy music. He's incredible.
Yeah.
Scored this film. The jazz score that you hear throughout it, that's all him.
Mhm.
Incredible music throughout the film. But he just won a Grammy, as Rachel just mentioned. Budget of 16 million, estimated $16 million, grossed 20.6 million worldwide. Had an
Okay.
opening weekend of 12.1 million, and it is currently streaming on Prime Video, so
For
you can
free.
watch it for free if you have Prime.
Mhm.
Um, Synopsis. We don't
Yeah.
really do this. We assume everybody's seen the movie, which I'm sure they have, but we'll just talk about what we're actually going to discuss and what this film was about real quick. When famed photographer Christina Eames unexpectedly dies, she leaves her estranged daughter Mae Morton hurt, angry, and full of questions. When a photograph tucked away in a safe deposit box is found, Mae finds her on a journey delving into her mother's early life and ignites a powerful, unexpected romance with the rising star journalist Michael Block.
Mhm.
That photograph and that letter really
Yeah.
kicked off this whole thing, and I really love particularly how Christina had a very specific way of speaking, and it
Mhm.
wasn't with her words.
Yeah.
And how they explore how difficult that can be, because it's not just Christina; it's a lot of people.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
that communicate in different ways, and a lot of ways that people can't understand.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they kind of explored that and the idea of getting older and looking back on all the things that happened throughout your life and the things that you wish you could have changed, and just walking down that avenue, especially when it ties into love.
Mhm.
I think it
Mhm.
was very telling when you have Isaac have he shows Michael. We're not to get into the best scenes yet, but he shows Michael the photo of his wife on the mantle, and he also has a photo of Christina on the mantle. Like
Crazy.
he loves that woman. Like he's never stopped thinking about that woman, and just the idea that you can really have a life and commit to someone and live this entire life, but still have your heart. Like that's something that I think about all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of why this movie intrigues me and why it's so interesting. And the fact that they dig into that, I think that's very unique. I don't think there's a lot of movies that come to the top of my head that um, take that route.
Yeah. Um, just to backtrack just a skosh, I think we said it last week during the Malcolm and Marie discussion. I will 1000% communicate with you via song, even if it's something that I can't verbally say. I might send you something that has the messaging or even the words that you need to hear that I can't seem to say, even though all I
Yeah.
do is run my mouth.
Communication is a big theme in this movie. It's a big theme throughout this film.
Yeah, and wrong daddy, quote unquote. He swear that's gonna be my life.
Which part? Which part? Christina?
Yeah, or Isaac.
Isaac is
Well,
gonna be
I
your
will
life.
move on and be married
Oh
and
man.
have a full life, but he gonna be
We can really have the
on
rest
my
of this episode.
mental.
We can have the rest of this episode about that, but we not. But I would love to dig into that deeper. But we'll do that after we record. Uh, that's very interesting. We'll get into some characters. I didn't even do the cast yet. My bad. I
Okay,
also ready to jump into things. I forgot a couple things.
yeah.
So it was nominated for a couple of awards, but it actually won the 2021 Reframe Award and won a Reframe stamp for the narrative and animated feature. And
Mhm.
my first thought was, I've never heard of the Reframe Awards. I don't even know what that is. So I decided to look it up just out of curiosity. And it's actually pretty dope. So the Reframe stamp is awarded to narrative and animated features that hire women or individuals of other underrepresented gender identities expressions, um, in 4 out of 8 key roles, including writer, director, producer, lead, co-leads, and department heads.
Mhm.
So anytime you get inclusive space and their own awards, I thought that was pretty dope. So did win an award for that. And the cast: Issa Rae as Mae Morton, Lakeith Stanfield as Michael Block, who I thought did an incredible job.
Yeah, he
I'm a
did.
fan of Lakeith. I know he can be a little bit out there as far as his personal, antics, but I think he's a pretty dope actor. Yeah, y'all can look him up if you want to. Google's your friend.
He be moaning.
Shantae Adams, who I absolutely love. I'm in love
Love
with
her.
Shantae Adams. Like, I'm in love with Shantae Adams. Like, for real, I
Same.
love that woman. Like,
Yeah.
I love like I'll tell her to her face, I love you. She plays Christine Eames. We spoke about Elon Noel as young Isaac Jefferson. Rob Morgan is present day Isaac Jefferson, who did an incredible job in this
Yeah.
film. He's
He's a
also Irvin Johnson Sr. on Winning Time, which is an
ooh,
incredible show. Can't wait till that comes
that's
back.
that.
That's definitely something we're gonna be discussing
Yeah.
without question. Courtney B. Vance, the incredible, incomparable Courtney B. Vance as Lewis Morton. Kelvin Harrison Jr. as Andy Morrison, who was Michael's best friend at the newsroom.
Mhm.
Little Rel Howery as Kyle. Tiana Paris as Asia.
Beautiful.
Jasmine Cephas Jones as Rachel Miller. And Marshall Stephanie Blake as Violet Eames. Ray P, we got into it a little bit. We spoke about it. Classic or not?
No.
Okay.
Um, culturally
Mm.
relevant, but maybe not significant, or vice versa. Just because if you give me a love story in New Orleans, I'm in there. You've
Yeah.
got me. Um, but a good movie, even if it is a slow burn.
Okay. So I was gonna say the one thing that I've been hearing is it moves a little too slow for some people,
Yeah.
which is okay, cool, but not really. Depending on what you're looking at.
Mhm.
Depending on
Mhm.
what you're looking at, not really. But I can understand that argument, and I'm not gonna sit here and try to fight it for
Yeah.
anybody who tried to say it. Um, but it's a movie for the lovers.
Mm,
And when I looked at the reviews for the film, there were some good ones, but a lot of them were saying the same thing as far as like the script was underdeveloped and the story just kind of was a little bit too ambitious. Like maybe they tried
mm,
to do too much trying to tell both of those stories. They all love the cinematography and the acting, which I thought was incredible as well. But I think one key word they said was unfocused. And I think that's what I felt doing that first watch. I think it's probably what you felt doing that first watch.
mhm.
As I go again, I get the idea of it. Like I said, I look at, especially when it comes to love stories, I mean, that shit is unfocused. Love is unfocused, man. So
Right.
I can appreciate in my head, even if it's not intentional, just
Mhm.
the art and the idea of shit just not making sense sometimes because that's just what it is. As
Yeah.
long as I get the overall theme, I'm cool with that. I would agree it's not a classic.
Mhm.
If you can get more people to like have conversations about this film, versus like I'm watching it at home by myself and I'm just gonna like move on to the next thing. Like
Yeah.
if I watch that film and I have a conversation with someone about it,
Mhm.
I think you can start the conversation a little bit more about how good this movie is. Like I said, I'm not going to bat for it. I'm not gonna say like it's the greatest movie ever, but I think it's better than what it's gotten credit for in the 3 years it's been out.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the culture garden is here for.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We here to make sure y'all know. Like, if it's trash, we're gonna say it's trash. But if y'all need to give it a second chance, third chance,
That's
you know,
it.
hopefully this
That's
steers
it.
you. Um, True love,
Mhm.
genuine love.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about photography when she started, but I knew I liked the way she saw me better than I was. Like
Come
that's
on.
come on,
Bar,
man.
bar.
Those that's got like that made me feel something.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you feel like that's the one thing I will say, especially with the acting and those two characters, Isaac and Christina, like Christine,
Mhm.
you felt that. I felt that love. I didn't just see it on camera. Like those actors portrayed though like perfectly. Like
Yeah.
the scene when older Isaac finds out that, or present day, I won't say older, present day Isaac, because he's still young. When he finds out that she's not around, like, or she passed, like the way he looked around first, like she around, like she passed
Yeah.
away, and just that
Yeah.
that finale, you saw that finale. Like there's so many things I wanted to say to her.
Mhm.
Like, but I know I'll never get the chance. Like all of that was just incredible. Like you felt everything that they had.
Yeah. And that was so interesting and sad because I think that I think I know, especially just sort of where I am in life right now. I don't want to leave any words unsaid. Um,
Mhm.
even though I just said I'll communicate via song, but once I've been separated from somebody, I don't want to do that. I had a moment with an old thing a few years ago during COVID when everybody's reaching out, you know.
Right.
And I don't want to say that we got closure, but we really did. It just was a moment to just sort of say some things that were long overdue that you didn't think you needed to hear. But it just was some real ass shit. And it's sad that they never got a chance to have that. I
Yeah.
mean, he left in the middle of the night with this nigga's child.
Right.
Unbeknownst to him, and just to have never been able to have that conversation, as much as he needed it and missed it, I know that she did too.
Yeah.
Letters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can. The more we learned about her,
Mhm.
like when Courtney B. Vance, his character, was talking about how when May moved to Chicago, she didn't have something to do. She was in the back of the house crying, like she wasn't good with goodbyes. Like
Yeah.
you learn certain things, and it's like, damn, she really needed that. Like she just
Mhm.
didn't know how to express it. Kind of like we mentioned at the beginning of this episode, like not talking in different languages.
Yeah.
Love languages are real, and they're a real thing. You got to pay attention to them, and it's just sad to know that,
It is. It
especially
is.
when it was true like that. It was real, authentic love. Like,
They
man,
loved each other.
yeah. So you have to you just have to, like you said, you have to make sure that you get everything out. I'm big. I've always said, man, like there's an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where the dude has a funeral while he's still alive.
Man.
Um, but I think that's every day. I think I actually posted on my own Instagram, like give people their flowers while they can still smell them, while they alive to smell them. Like,
That's it.
because that's all the funeral is. People just give them their flowers. Like everybody should know. There should never be anything said at somebody's funeral that
Mhm.
person wasn't told. You know what I mean, in real life.
That's
So,
it. That's it.
anyway, man, we're gonna move on from that topic because damn, it's sad. Uh, ego, ego played a big role in the character in this film,
Yeah.
getting in the way of things. There's something I wanted to ask you because there was
I
an
have a lot
interesting quote.
to ask you. So go ahead.
Okay, there's an interesting quote by Isaac. He said, "I didn't know how to be with a woman that I had to keep up with." Do you notice that, like present day, like as far as dating or people like men trying to get at you?
I know that like I know these niggas.
You know what I mean? I feel like today we're in.
Yeah.
I
Hello.
feel like today we're in that era where, like, I don't know. It seems like dudes are scared to talk to women because they feel like they can't measure up.
They can't. No, guys.
Oh my goodness.
Just kidding, kinda a little bit, but On some real stuff, you see women, especially of a particular age, many have amassed a certain level of success and are ahead of quite a few of the brothers. And not some, not all, don't quite know how to navigate that and how to navigate that energy and still feel like you can hang with the big dogs. And they can't.
Could you go for a simple man like Isaac?
Um,
Somebody
hmm.
who loves you, like loves you deeply. It just want all he's concerned about is being with you, but he just lives a simple life. He don't want much. He just want to be with you. Or
Uh,
you think you too ambitious for that?
no, because I'm not really ambitious. I just happen to do well.
Okay. Bars. Bars.
um,
You on stage with Smack right now.
yeah, I don't love to work. I actually hate it. I like my what I do, but I'm not a worker ass bitch. Like, no, that does not empower me. But I appreciate the life that and the lifestyle that it affords me. So I for real, I could be with a simple man as long as you are like a man. You don't have to make more to me. Can you take care of money? Because I'm reckless. I'm reckless. Are you responsible? Do you have all these other attributes that matter? So no, I don't need you to do this, that, and the third. Like I'll take I have a cousin who is very successful. Her husband works for like it's not ODOT, but the Department of Transportation for the state that they live in. He moved her out of the city, built with his hands a bomb ass house. That nigga don't care about none of that other shit she be talking about and having going on. But she said, I'll move to the country with you if you build me a house. Built her a house on the real lake, not the man-made lake, the
Yeah.
real lake
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
their hands. So hell yeah, for some shit like that, yeah. I sure can. You fucking crazy. I need help.
Oh snap, man. Hey, she said I need help. Hey, chill, Ray. Hey, you hilarious, but you dead ass serious.
I hello? I
I
am
know
not
you
playing.
dead ass. Yeah, I know you dead ass, man. Do you think you, as far as like Christine's ambition and her wanting more out of life,
Mhm.
she had a quote where she said that like the most exciting thing out of in my day can't be making you dinner. I'm paraphrasing that,
Yeah.
but she said something similar to that. But should she have to trade one for the other? You know what I mean? Like, where's the fine line? Do you blame? I guess my question is, do you blame Christine for leaving?
Uh, I don't blame Christina for leaving. I didn't like the way she left.
Okay.
That's it, probably more than anything. And I think that she wouldn't have run to New York. Maybe they could have just gone to New Orleans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the conversation with her mother is really what pushed her out. Because the reality is, yeah, she wanted to take pictures, but she could have lived a simpler, quote unquote, life in New Orleans with Isaac if he was ready to move. But the reality is that Isaac was scared and he said it.
Yeah, but listen, Isaac was ready to marry. I just said, "What's up?" But Christina wasn't for it. Like she wasn't trying to. She had bigger things. She had bigger things to give to the world. Like we got to remember, she's like an esteemed, like a very famous photographer. Like so,
Right?
she had a talent. She knew that, and she knew that she had bigger things to. You know, she couldn't look back on her life and
Hmm.
say like I missed out on all of this because I decided this. I think that might lead to some resentment. So, like you said, the way she did it was crazy, but I can't never knock anybody for not like wanting to share their talents with the world.
I think she could have done that in New Orleans, though. I mean, I know that New York is New York,
Yeah.
but
I think sometimes you just got to do something for yourself. You got to do it on your own. Like you got to live, you got to walk your own path, and it's It's selfish. She had regret about it. She said she wished she could love like she worked.
Yeah, that's
I got
real.
the quote written down somewhere, so we'll get to it later. But
Mhm. I
yeah,
wish I was as good at love as I am at working.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's I mean,
Out there.
like I said, we'll get to it. We will get to it. Trust me. I got stuff to say about it.
Mhm.
Um, parent-child relationships. That
What
was
I
a big
tell y'all
theme.
about these black mamas.
That was a big theme in this film. Real big theme in this film.
Yeah.
There was a quote of, "She wasn't just your mother. At some point, you're gonna have to forgive her and realize she was just a woman with flaws."
Mhm.
The older I get, the more um, I'm appreciative.
Yeah.
I've always appreciated, my parents,
Mhm.
but the more I even realize, like, I was just having this conversation with someone where you hit a certain point of age, like even at 30, you don't necessarily feel this way, but there's a certain age where you hit and it's like, yo, this is me out here, like by
Yeah.
myself. Like I ain't got nobody to call. Like I got people to call, but like that's a last resort. Like I'm a
Mhm.
whole ass adult. Like
Mhm.
I gotta figure this shit out. Like every single day. If you in a bad, like you gotta figure this shit out. And parents doing that with kids, like I ain't got kids.
Yeah.
I can tell you how much it is already. So the fact that you do it with children and get them where they need to be and raise good citizens,
It's
it's
hard.
like, damn, yeah, man. Like I really appreciate my parents. And um also with getting older is realizing that your mom isn't just your mom. Like that's a
Mhm.
woman like that had a
Mhm.
complete life before you were even thought of.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? This is somebody who serves different roles as well. Like so, like looking at them in a different light and realizing like maybe if I looked at it from that point of view, I can understand things a little better. Trying to
Mhm.
get through the things that were left unsaid, the generational trauma, my mom was sick. I'm assuming of cancer, and instead of telling me, she told me I probably need to move out by myself.
Man,
And
crazy.
I found out later that she passed unexpectedly.
Mhm.
Christina passes unexpectedly, doesn't tell anybody she's sick with cancer. Like
Mhm.
stuff's passed down, like just all that.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
It's such a real thing, and I related to a lot of that so much so we touched on it earlier. When I moved from Toledo, my mom did not ride with my dad and I to the airport. When I left with my two little suitcases, it was like, I'm out of here.
In
She
a
stayed
dream.
home. She stayed home. And I don't think back then, I've said it, me and my mama did not get along literally until I moved. So 25 years of turmoil and tumultuousness. Um, but in the last 11 years, that's my motherfucking dog. You hear me?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
took me being gone and lifing for me to see my mother as a woman and to figure some things out. So when people say keep living, those are words to live by. And
Hmm.
you reach a certain age and you stop seeing they're always your parents, but you stop seeing them as my parents and start seeing them as whole people and start to put some things together. And I think that's the beauty of fucking growing up, because it's like, oh shit, I see why you was kind of fried, but I get it.
Yeah, you kind of get welcomed into all this information that you didn't have as a kid, and it gives you actually unexpectedly gives you better understanding of why people are the way they are.
Absolutely.
One of
Absolutely.
Rachel, one of your favorite quotes in Insecure, like dads are niggas too, just all grown up.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Bars.
So, our parents are just our parents. They were who they were before we got here. Like, and
That's it.
it's always
That's
interesting to
such
get
a
into that.
real thing. As I
Yeah.
navigated like relationships, the thorn in my side act just like my fucking daddy. And I did not know that that was coming. I was like, oh, this nigga's raggedy too. Oh. And I love my daddy, but I was like, fuck, what you on, dog?
Nah, that's real. That's real. And even small stuff. Like there were moments in the movie. I think Christina referenced her mom by her first name,
Mhm.
Violet. She mentioned like I when Isaac pulled up at the house and saw young May, and she said,
Mhm.
I sold Violet's house."
Yeah.
And then later on in the film, May did the same thing. She says, "I'm going to Christina's house later." Like
Mhm.
even stuff like that. Like it's just crazy
Yeah.
how it all works.
I call my mom by her first name forever. Even now, do it jokingly or by her middle name, something to that effect. But it's when them dynamics get funky, you navigate that relationship a little differently.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's always
When it's your
interesting.
husband.
So, we were talking about characters.
Yeah.
You and I had a brief conversation earlier because I was just doing some last minute research earlier, and I stumbled across this personality quiz on BuzzFeed.
Mhm.
Um, like I said, I really stumbled into it, and it told me what kind. You take this little quiz, and it tells you what character in the photograph you are. Now,
Mhm.
personally, I relate to Michael a lot. Like Michael Block, I relate to him a lot. Just
That's
as
who
far
I
as
thought that you were.
oh yeah, no, I thought I definitely like there's some quotes, some moments, some conversations, some stares that were
Uh,
very relatable. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That happened throughout this film that I was like, oh, I'm definitely, like I said, we're just gonna leave it there.
mhm.
But I'm also in a space too where I need change. Sort of like that character.
Okay.
Like maybe not London change, but it's definitely been on my heart heavy. Like, well, it's time to like something's got to like maneuver, and you just at that point. People get to that in their life where it's just like, all right, what's next?
Yeah, come to shine.
And that thing. So like all of those were very similar as far as me. But when I took that quiz,
Mhm.
I was informed that I'm like Christina.
Really?
I have a unique relationship with love, despite coming face to face with it at least once. I don't always know how to give love in return.
Mm.
Um, which is interesting because I'm great at giving genuine love, like
Mhm.
natural love, like. But I might be able to agree, like I might not communicate the same way other people do unless it's like all the way there. It's like one
Uh-huh.
of them one like the same way dude told him like you don't meet at the end of the film when he told Michael like you don't
Mhm.
meet too many people like that in your lifetime. He was like, oh yeah, man, Isaac and Christine. Like, no, I'm talking about May. Like, once you get one of them ones, like where you just know, like, all right, man, I need to stop playing and go after this girl. Um, it can be a little bit, I don't, it's a little slower than
Yeah.
most people. So it's like that, and that was just very funny because I'm like, damn, they might be right. But I'm definitely Michael character wise, like personality wise, very relatable
Okay.
character for me.
Do you wanna know who I got?
Yeah, man. I'm in therapy, y'all, man. I'm in therapy, y'all. Pray for me, man. We on the up and up.
That's it.
Putting these walls down. Who you
I got
get?
Isaac Jefferson.
That's a oh, which one? Hold on, you got Isaac.
I got
Um,
Isaac.
just
Your
like your man's called it. Said you Isaac. What did the description say?
Your personality matches Isaac Jefferson. You're a hopeless romantic. From the happy from the sappy lyrics and songs to just holding someone's hands, you can't get enough of it. You wear your heart on your sleeve and have no problem fighting for what you believe in.
Well, they read you like a book.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, they read you like a book.
I thought it was gonna be May
See, we both thought it was gonna be somebody that wasn't.
and was wrong.
We were just talking about that. What I forget what maybe your honor. We were just talking about how sometimes you view yourself differently than other people do.
100%. 100%.
Oh snap! Let's get into some scenes
Okay.
throughout this film. Um, the opening scene with Michael and Isaac.
Yep.
I mentioned the whole photo. That's just so fascinating to me how you can come to terms with not being with the person that you know you're supposed to be with, like, and really have an entire life, years. This is 30 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a wife. Like, obviously, she's not with us anymore, but
Mhm.
not far from my wife's. Not only do I have Christina's photo, I have other photos that she took.
Yeah.
Like this woman has been on my head every single day for 30 years. Even when times I've looked at my wife dead in her face, and all I could think about is what would my life be like right now with Christina? Like that scares the shit out of me. Like knowing that, for lack of better terms, you can settle like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't
And
know, man.
that's
That's rough.
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
I wonder if the pictures of Christina were up while what's the wife name's Rachel Ashley Perez while she was alive. Are
I don't
these
know.
on the wall knowing that she took them? Because he married her three. She was only gone 3 months when he got married.
Mm-hmm. Which I do put some blame on him for that
Yeah, who else is it to blame?
because if you love Christina like that and you know you do, 3 months ain't long enough for me to get married.
Come on.
You know what I'm
3
saying?
months? 90 days?
You know what I mean? Like that's to get married. You know, do what you got to do as far as living your life, but actually getting married, that's wild.
Yeah, and we knew that she was sniffing around because Christina made mention of her before. Like, oh, so you can't have me, so you just gonna marry this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
You won't step up, so you're just gonna do and be, I don't want to say be nothing, but just be
That's what made it.
comfortable and sedentary with that.
Yeah, but that's what made it even more wild. The one person that you knew she didn't want you to marry, that she ended up marrying.
Yeah, you did that to
But,
piss me off.
but can't just put this all on Isaac because Christina could have said something. She bounced like
Yeah, she
no
was there.
word, no phone call, no nothing. Like, and I know this is the '80s, so it wasn't like you just got to sell and you can track. Like
Yeah,
in the '80s, if somebody went missing, they went missing. Like if you
yeah.
didn't have no track, no trail on them, you don't know when you're gonna see or hear from them again.
Mm, mm, mm.
You know what I mean? So the fact that she just bounced, and obviously he was on her mind because when she was on the phone call with her friend, that's all she was thinking about. Like I know he probably angry, and even at the funeral, like he more angry than I thought. Like then she had to finally realize, like he got married. That's wild, bro. I couldn't do it. Like I could not get out here getting married, knowing that the love of my life is out here somewhere.
Crimes of passion. Um, that's a fucked up thing. No, you right there in the city. It ain't like he moved. You was right there and didn't come to my mama funeral, but you love me so bad. And I'm great with child.
Yeah, that's the song you supposed to tell me though, man. You ain't got my kid. But I love the way that he looked at it though. I love the way he looked at it later. Like,
Hmm.
you know, it'd have been easier if she told me, like it'd have been easier if I just asked. Like,
Because
yeah, yeah,
hmm
yeah, man. Um, he knew, man. That's just rough.
yeah,
That's just
yeah,
rough altogether. Um, you got a scene?
yeah. I'll fast forward quite a bit because I did also have that whole opening. Them in New Orleans, just because I said it earlier, I love New Orleans.
Which couple are you talking about? You talking about Christina and
Both,
Isaac? Or you talking about okay, both of them?
both. But to start off, obviously Christina and Isaac, but then even juxtaposing May and Michael in New Orleans, seemingly at the same little place, all these years later. I just thought that was really dope. And just seeing them, they had really, really, really good on-screen chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Christina and Isaac.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just could watch them. I could watch them be silent. I could watch the intimate moments with them going back and forth, her being snappy. You know what I'm saying? They just were really, really beautiful to watch. So I'll do that first, New Orleans. Plus the music was jamming and
Yeah.
just a good little time.
Yeah, I agree with you about the New Orleans. Just the atmosphere, just
Yeah.
the scenery, the way it was shot, just the it brings something out of you,
Mm,
just the way they leading each other through, the same location they were. We don't know what it was or what the name
yeah,
of it was, but both of them had their moments in those spots that were just like real moments. Like just like it almost felt like they were the only ones in the room.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Even though they weren't, they both felt that way.
Yep.
And I think part of that is just New Orleans bringing that out. So definitely played a character in the film, especially with we know that May and New Orleans felt like more of a character than New York did, even though May and Michael lived there.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
did they live in Chicago or did they live in New York?
they lived in New York
Okay.
because the Queens, yeah, and up to I'm pretty sure it was New York, wasn't it?
I felt like because she moved to Chicago. I mean, she could have moved back to New York. I couldn't remember. I couldn't
Yeah, I'm
tell.
pretty sure it's New York. I'm not bugging off that. Yeah, if we wrong, then we'll talk about it next week. But I'm
We'll
pretty sure.
correct it if need
Yeah.
be.
But Michael pulling up on her to at the museum.
Period.
Yeah, pulling up, man. Got his wingman with him. Yo, you trying to go see a movie? And
Mhm.
I love when he walked in like, oh, I know what you're here for. Oh, you don't know nothing, man. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to get that first glance and not being able to talk because somebody interfered. And then
Mhm.
while he's going up the escalator, just that look he gives her, like that, you know why
Yeah.
I'm here. You know why I'm here. Her homegirl talking about look like he got some follow-up questions. Like, yeah, you know why I'm here. Like I
Pull
loved
up.
everything about that. Yeah, I love everything about that. Leading up to getting drinks, just
Mhm.
obviously there's something here. They had a natural, like organic chemistry. Even
Chemistry.
if it wasn't romantic,
Mhm.
they got along and they would like just hit it off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
obviously we wanted to see them together and ended up doing that. But that scene just after getting drinks and like I said, very relatable. The Drake versus Kendrick conversation.
Yeah.
Um, do you wonder if we're just who we're around in the moment? I
Oh,
love fake deep conversations.
I wrote that down.
As long as they don't go too long,
Mhm.
we both got to realize this is a fake deep, not a real deep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll definitely engage in a fake deep conversation. I'm always a fan of that. Um, Seeing about her, man. He just went to go see about her. Let's see
Come
what was
see
up.
about me.
Yeah, man. We get in our head a lot as men, and sometimes we just got to say something.
That's
It's
it.
really as simple as that. Like, yo, man, I'm just trying to see what you got going on.
Mhm.
Take it
Mhm.
from there. Um, yeah, so I love that scene. I love that scene.
I will go to May and Michael at her house in the storm. Cause very sexy, obviously. Um,
Hmm.
music is such an integral part of this film. Like
They
the
played Al
soundtrack
Green.
is
Say less.
crazy.
Yeah, that Al Green came on. It was a wrap.
Come on, come on. I love that. And I wrote down again, he was like, why you got your head down like you're praying and praying for willpower when you in front of a nigga that I don't really know you like that. I want to take it there, but I don't know if I should take it there. That's a real ass thing. Relatable content.
Man, I've been Michael in them situations.
Come on. You might as well just
We
go
done
for it.
blame. I done blamed it on the storm a few times. You know what I mean?
One of Jamie Foxx's best songs. For real.
I had that scene down as well, just cause you just knew like, but it wasn't like nobody schemed on it, nobody planned on
Yeah.
it. It was just like it was so
Yeah.
natural, just kind of like, man, we can't
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
like we can't even fight this. It's almost like magnetic at this point.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love
man.
when the chemistry is just palpable
Bless
and
you.
ain't nobody being extra. Y'all just going with the flow and it just feels good in that moment. Now be careful because a moment of pleasure costs you a lifetime of pain. That's one of my
Mhm.
mama's favorite sayings. Y'all watch that. It's Valentine's weekend, okay? But I really that was just a dope, dope, dope ass scene. Even the whole thing leading up to the brother's house. Love that. Love that whole thing too, just over there. Seeing how he interacts, excuse me, with his family and nieces and kids. Won't kids tell it all? My goodness. So
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. Tell
all
all
that
your
shit
business. Tell all your business, man. Hey, ain't nothing like somebody that gets you,
baby, I
baby. I
get
get you.
you.
Love
Oh,
that chemistry,
that's why
man. That scene was,
favorite old songs.
yeah, that scene is incredible. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it, man. Symbolism too. A lot of symbolism with the storm.
Hmm.
Reminded me of Love Jones a little bit as far
Okay.
as trying to navigate the storms and the ups and downs. Because as soon as the storm ended, their storm started.
Man.
That awkward moment as soon as they left that next morning. So walking after the storm or walking through the storm actually. So right when everything ended, and he asked her like, "You want to go outside?" Just I love the way that scene was shot. That's
Yeah.
what makes me think it was just New York.
And see,
Even
that's
though
what
Chicago
makes me
has
think
streets like that.
it's Chicago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Chicago has streets like that, but I still think it's New York.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just there. What's next? We don't necessarily know what we got going on, but we know it's something. So let's
Mm.
try to figure out what it is and We don't necessarily have the right words to communicate what we should be doing.
Mhm.
It's just so easy when you just talk and just
That's
say like,
it.
"This is what I feel." So it's
That's it.
frustrating to watch at times, but neither one of them really know how to
Mhm,
navigate that world. They
mhm.
both admittedly like have the right idea. Like, you know, Michael's definitely seen love. Like he sees his brother, he sees his family. He wants that. He desires that. You know what I mean? I can relate in that area as well. Like that's something you want, but maybe it's not as
Yeah.
easy as what it seems, or you really have something big. Like you want to take care of yourself, but you waiting for that big splash, that big moment to happen,
Mhm.
and meet
Mhm.
that person. So that's why it was so frustrating because and it was a little confusing for him, I guess, because he had just broken up with a chick, which I would never ever
Couple
recommend.
weeks.
Would never ever recommend. But that's what makes it even more intriguing to me because if it's just been that short of a time and you already met somebody or you met somebody that's pulling you like that, maybe it
Mm,
is something to dig deeper into. So I get him. I get why he wasn't so gung ho about it because I'm about to go to London. I'm about to start this whole new life.
yeah.
I think he soon realized what Isaac realized. Like, I really can't live without this woman. And he was
Yeah.
ready to just go. What really pissed me off is he was just ready to go, let it go. Not call,
Mhm.
not nothing. Like, I'm in London. It is what it is. She did the same. Like, it's too late.
That's
When she's talking to her homegirl.
yeah.
Yeah, it's too late. It doesn't matter. Like, the fact that neither one of them really, like, stood up to fight until May did and sent those tickets, which is real player. But, yeah, I just love their whole dynamic and them trying to figure that out. So I put that scene in there. What other scene you got?
Okay, I've already said Sophia and Sandrine confusing May with Tessa, like, cause kids. But, May meeting Isaac, and I know we touched on it earlier at the top of the show, but that was such a I don't even really wanna call it full circle, but it was just a beautiful moment, like, "Oh, shit. She ain't know who that nigga was for real,"
Hmm.
'cause she hadn't even read her mama letter.
Right.
Um, until then, and so just seeing how endearing how excited Isaac was to potentially see Christina and then to know, okay, she has this daughter and she's here, and how I said endearing, but how gentle and soft he was, but powerful still as a man and with May. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And then I guess I skipped ahead, but when the flashback scene to them at Violet's house when she's like 3 or 4 and he comes to get them, the silence of the car ride and then
Hmm.
her just breaking down in the bus station, like, bruh.
It was that the don't get out,
Yeah.
that moment when I was just like, oh
Mhm.
man, like that's like you just want to scream and just like, yo, do something. Do something. But you married, but what you shouldn't have done in the first place, but you went off and got married and you really can't, but I couldn't even imagine, man.
To love someone so deeply that you just cannot or do not have a life with, that shit is painful. So when
Hmm.
she really, really let it go, I'm like, yeah, bitch, I feel you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really do. I really do.
Yeah. I had that in my scenes as well. Just their
Mhm.
last. That was their last time seeing each other, as
Yeah,
far as we know. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and it's just such a New Orleans thing or just a Southern thing. Every single time Isaac offers somebody something to eat, like, I just love that because of the food. Like, you don't turn down no fucking food, nigga.
Yeah. Never. Like you always taught that.
And it was just full of love every time, you know what I'm saying? Just genuine breaking bread, camaraderie, fellowship. I loved
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, man. Isaac, man, was probably my favorite character
I
throughout the
love that's a fucking man, you hear me?
film. Isaac, I think, was my favorite character throughout this film. Like it
Yeah,
was very, very interesting. Going back, you already mentioned it, but I do just want to mention the May Michael at his brother's house. Like, just I love when people meet families.
yeah,
And just that natural chemistry that everybody had, not just those two, but the
yeah.
four. I just thought that was really dope. So, did you have anything else for your scenes? I think that was all I had written
That
down.
was it that we both touched on. You touched on the things that I had written down and didn't say. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Best quotes. You got anything?
We've already set them really. I wish I was as good at love as I am at working. Do you ever think that we're just who we're around in the moment? Again, why you got your head down like you praying, praying for willpower. And that's also marriage. I just repeat what she say, cause ain't that it?
Yeah, I had those close down. I also had a couple more that you didn't say.
Go ahead.
You just alluded to one. I just offered you crab. That's not the correct response. If you
Period.
offer me crab, like, what's up, man? Yes, we're the plate, we're the bowl. I'm ready.
I want
Uh,
some food now.
Also, another quote from Isaac. I don't recommend getting older. Less people to talk to, more time to go over every regret.
Hmm.
You mentioned earlier, keep living. Me and School's granddad always used to say, Granddad, why you wear glasses to read? Like everything will always be keep on living.
Keep living.
Keep on living. You will
Mhm.
find out. And then the older you get, the more you find out. So living with that regret, man. Like I said, we talked about it earlier as far as Isaac. You can feel that pain. You can feel
Mhm.
their love. You can feel that pain. You can just feel
Mhm.
that for 30 years he's been wondering why he didn't go after her and how they ended up losing contact and connection. And remember, that story was supposed to be about, um, BP, oil spill, Katrina, stuff like that. And it ended up turning more into a personal piece
Yeah.
because of Isaac just randomly like discussing this woman that he loves and just
To
lost
this
contact
day.
with. Yeah, to this day. And then, obviously Michael's curiosity to look up, her photos and look up May, and it just all. Who would have thought those worlds connect? Because even when we didn't even say this in best scenes, which I should have had it written down, but pulling up to your pulling up to finish your interview,
Yeah.
and the
And
girl
see
you love come out talking about, so that's my daddy. Just what are the odds? You get what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
sometimes you got to like. I know it's coincidental, and I know things like that happen in film. And I think we actually talked about this on another episode. I can't remember which one, but coincidental things happen in our real lives all the time. Stuff
Mhm.
that's just like by chance, like you can't even explain it. Like, what are the fucking odds?
Yeah.
Like it happens to us. So the fact that all this is full circle, and obviously, Michael knew because he's the one that went out. He knew Isaac, and then obviously he knew that
Mhm.
was going to be Christina's daughter.
Right.
Um, but obviously, I don't think he knew that that was her dad. So
Right.
just all of that is just pretty wild, and it's all just symbolic of things meant to be.
Okay. I've got some questions for you now.
What you got? What's up? Talk to me.
So, Courtney B. Vance, aka Lewis Morton, he reveals that when he met Christina, she was what, 3, 4 months pregnant?
3 months pregnant, yeah.
You dating a pregnant woman and
Not
raising
gonna be able to do it unless Rihanna and ASAP break up.
Child.
Like
Okay.
I'm dead ass. That's probably the only situation.
Okay. Okay. Um, during May and Michael's first personal sit down, he says, I'm not really good at first dates. Or she says it. How are you at first dates?
I'm incredible at first dates. Listen, um, first dates are always cool because it's always out the with me, it's gonna be out the box. It ain't no dinner and movie shit. We're gonna do something a little bit different, somewhere we can have some conversation. I really just want to get to know about you, see what kind of chemistry we have. That's real big. Like, can we joke? Can we laugh? Do I feel like I want to do this again?
Mhm.
And that's normally the issue. Most times, I don't really feel like doing it again.
Okay.
And nothing against them. It's just more so like I got other things to do that I could probably be more productive with. I don't feel that. Nah, 'cause I told you, man, I gotta feel that. I know how I am. I gotta feel that spark. Like I gotta be like, yo, I gotta see you. Like I'm
Yeah.
about to see about you. What's up?
And that's urgent like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's urgent like a motherfucker. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Shout out to Darius.
Mhm. Mm.
So if it's there, it's there, and if it's not, it's not. And it doesn't mean that it can't build to that. Like, so I don't want to say it like that. I understand
Mhm.
things take time. So it can definitely you meet somebody, you become friends. That's very foundational. That's very important to me, like
Yeah.
friendship, because you got to be my. I say it all the time. You got to be my dog. I
Yeah.
can't just be with whoever.
Any
People
old
be out
guy.
here with strangers. So I gotta want to kick it with you. I gotta want to be like, yo, I'm about to go here. Do you want to come with me? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Versus I need to get away from her. Like, you know what I mean? That's my. Everybody need personal space, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you.
but yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, first dates, man, it's always a good time. They just don't necessarily spark
Okay.
enough attention to go to a third one or a second one.
Also,
I hope I don't sound like a dickhead on here or an asshole.
no,
I'm
you're
just
fine.
telling the truth, man. I'm comfortable in my truth, but I hope I don't come off as like, you know,
You
that
don't.
guy.
I don't know. I don't think you do.
Well, you
Um,
know me.
right, right. So Michael May mentioned that the woman he was dating was like 20 years older than him, not Tessa, but just the older woman who he was getting it in with, like in the alley.
Yeah.
Would you be with an older woman?
Be with
Uh-huh.
or like long term.
Long term, short term,
Yeah,
some.
if we rocked, but definitely like just on some like fucking let's have some fun. Absolutely.
What's the
Without
biggest
question.
stage gap?
What has been mine or what would it be?
Both.
Right now, at my age, I'm 36.
Hmm.
I'd probably say about 16 years.
Okay. That's
Okay,
what you would do
52.
or what you have done.
Would do like right now about
Okay.
I'd be about 15 years or 16 years. About 52, 53, right around that range. Maybe even 55, depending, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, we can work with that right now. In life, I don't think it's been more than like 5. Ah,
Okay.
no. It was 8,
Mm.
1927.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Very interesting.
yeah. Um, dang. Trying to think of what year this was. There was another one close to right around that range. This might have been like 5 years ago because she was like, I would have been 31 and she was around 42. So maybe
Oh,
11. Actually, yeah. That's
okay.
probably the longest one. Show
Interesting. How
Jack,
old
man. Listen, man. Let me tell you this though. Let me tell you this. All the women ain't playing no games with you. They ain't doing
I
none
know
of that.
that's
Listen,
right.
ain't playing no games with you. You get out of line once, it's a wrap.
Felt you.
No
Mm,
text back, no nothing. Like I learned that lesson ASAP.
yeah.
Trying to move how I move, and nah, little nigga.
That is hilarious. My ring light just went out. I was trying to play with it. I don't know. So excuse y'all on the video that my shit just got dark.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah. What's up, man? You got any more questions, man? This is fun.
Um, that was all I had written down to ask you, but very interesting.
Yeah, you know,
Very
be like
interesting
that.
responses.
Be like that, man. There's a lot more, you know. Don't judge me off a 30-second answer. There's a lot
Mhm,
more to the story.
mhm, mhm,
But
mhm.
I'll never get on the podcast talking about it though, because it's way too much of that. I ain't that.
Right.
I gotta chill with these. Let me tell you the problem with women podcasts. That shit gotta stop.
He-Man woman
Um,
haters.
Scene stealer. You got one?
Shantae Adams.
I know I said it, but I love that woman.
I love her.
Like I
And
love
literally everything she is in, like even in the Amazon Prime version of A League of Their Own, she's in there and she is just stunning. Like you cannot take your eyes off of her. She delivers every scene. So I have her as my scene stealer.
mm, that's not a bad choice at all. I'm going Rob Morgan,
Okay.
present day Isaac
Yeah.
Jefferson. I'm going Rob Morgan. It's hard not to say Lil Real because he
He
knocked his season
also,
apart.
yeah.
But Rob Morgan, just the range of acting and the emotion.
Hmm.
Like I said, I can't get over that scene when he found out when he wanted to know if she was there and then found out she passed away. Just that alone, the expression acting was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you
And
said, just so full of love.
I just love old niggas. So much wisdom. You didn't ask me, but in my life, I have entertained an older gentleman caller. Um
I didn't want to ask because you know I ain't want you to have to answer that question. And
Oh
you
yeah, I've lived a life.
know, yeah, I listen. I know. That's why I was like. That's why I didn't ask.
It's like a 30-year difference.
Oh my goodness, man.
It was
She's
a good time. Lots of wisdom. He did some things.
Things that bother you, man.
Um, just that just that it was a little slow. That's really it. And I just wanted more. Like, okay, y'all got these fucking Kendrick tickets. Now what?
That's how it is,
I guess
man.
that's it.
That's how Love Jones ended. They got out of the rain. Now what? You don't
Yeah.
know? Malcolm and Marie, they outside on the hill. Now what? That's how these romance movies end.
Y'all better tell me something.
Goodwill Hunting, my man's driving across country to go see about a girl. What happened when he got there? Did he make it there? That raggedy ass car ain't make it there. He was
Mm.
driving from Boston to Palo Alto. Come on, man. Come on, Will.
Mm, mm.
Oh man. Things that bother me. I don't know why he ghosted May like that.
Yeah. Oh, I did write that down. Like, you tripping. I couldn't even
Right.
understand because literally it felt like a light switch once we got out the house. Like, nigga, what you
That was
want?
it's very disjointed when it came to that part. I don't know if that was meant to show that he's not good with communication as well, because even him not saying anything about going to London,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know, man. I don't think you do. You have to, like I said, I'm all for everybody fulfilling their purpose and doing what they feel like they need to do in life. I don't think anybody should be held back, but you got to go to London.
It
Like
was
if you
in
do,
the
you do.
months
But
before he met her, so I get like you already had a plan, but
I think
nigga,
that he knew that she was so important to him that it was worth staying. I could see if he figured it out in London that he wanted to be with her, but he knew before that.
yeah.
And he had a chance to go. Like I said, I don't want to tell him not to pursue his dreams. And like you said, something he already set in motion. But I
Mm,
thought that since he hadn't gotten the job yet after he met her, because he was already involved with her once he actually officially got the position, I thought that maybe that would have been enough to say, like, you know what, I got something here, and I just kind of want to stick around for a little bit while.
but they
Even though
had
it's hard
just
to,
met, like, how much time had passed?
yeah, good point.
That was the one thing,
I
that
think they
actually
even mentioned it.
bothered me because how long are we talking? You mad that he didn't tell you about this shit? Like, motherfucker, I just met you. Like, we just had one night. I don't know. I
Nah.
don't know.
And they just and they even mentioned it like it didn't, I didn't want to say nothing. I didn't know if it mattered.
Mhm.
Because we just now met each other. So yeah, it wasn't a ton of time. Wasn't a ton of time. It also other thing that bothered me is just humans. Like just this movie's a constant reminder of how stubborn we are.
Yeah.
Between Christina and Isaac, between May and Michael, it was just
Mhm.
we just get
Mhm.
in our own way so many times. Frustrating to watch sometimes, but
Yeah.
realistic, so I can't be mad at it.
Mhm.
Come see about me moment. We already mentioned them.
Yeah.
Definitely those K dot tickets. Like I said, yeah, she want to go see about Michael. You see him? You
That's
feel
right.
me?
Pull up on me.
Any actors from The Wire? No. Soundtrack. So much great music we mentioned earlier.
So
Played
much
throughout this
great
film.
music.
Like I said, they played Al Green. Say less. I mean, we got some Anita Baker in there. We got some Luther Vandross. Like, come
Mhm.
on. Like,
Mhm.
what else do you want? Wouldn't let that happen to me. You got anything, Rachel?
No, because some of it has happened. I did
um,
let it happen to me.
I I don't have anything, but if it were to be anything, it'd probably be like I don't know if I'm going to London, and that's a me thing more than anything. Just because I know how rare, not I don't want to say rare. That sounds like crazy, but I know what it's like when you meet someone that just kind of puts that spark in you.
Yeah.
For me, it's like it's not like an everyday occurrence. So you pay
Mhm.
attention to people like that,
Yeah.
and that would the least I can say is worth more investigating. Is
Mhm.
this something I want to do? How important is this person? Like, let me try to find out. I don't know. It's hard to say it when you got 3 weeks in or a month. Like that's
Yeah,
different. I get it. Like I said, if it's that time, then I'm off to London. I get it, but
I don't know you.
just investigate. Right, right. I'm putting my whole life.
Especially given his track record with relationships, like, yeah, okay, we could have a good 2 months. Now
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay here and I'm sick of your ass. Nah.
yeah. That's not going to end well at all. I think she mentioned that too. So I don't know. Trivia. Christina's photos were inspired by Carrie Mae Weems,
Mhm.
who was an artist. Chelsea Peretti, who plays Michael's boss at the Republic, is married to Jordan Peele. Little Rel and Lakeith Stanfield shared scene, or not shared scene, but we're both in Get Out, which is a Jordan Peele movie. Just a little 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked about the Insecure 6 degrees of separation. And there's another show that was involved with a few of these people involved also. So I think we covered everything that we wanted to discuss. Like I said, very interesting story between and the parallel between how your past can shape your future.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in Martin, in season 1 of Martin, the television show, there's a 3-episode arc where Martin and Gina break up.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where Martin is having people over to play cards. It's, anybody ever tell you look like Bookman? That whole scene. And the last guy in there, he say, man, you look like you're going through something. He's like, yeah, man, I lost my girl. I want to, I love her. I want to marry her, but I ain't got no like money. I ain't got this and that. Because like, man, I thought like you did when you were younger, now I got the house and I ain't got nobody to share it with.
Yeah.
And Martin was like, so what you saying? He was like, old fools used to be young fools.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think about when I think about this film. Like just
Yeah.
the story of the older generation letting them know, like, bruh, like I've lived it. Keep on living, like we've been mentioning. Keep living. I've lived this life, man. I'm telling you what you don't want to do. Don't make the same mistake. If you love her, go after her. Fight
Yeah.
for it. Go. He told May, like when did Michael go back? Well, why you ain't go with him? Like, don't act like time is this luxury. We talked about that on Your Honor as well. And we got y'all. Like,
Because it's not.
kids you think young people look at time like it's a luxury, and it's not. And you look up and you a certain age and you realize how much time has passed, and you reach a point where more time is behind you than it's going to be in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like Isaac said, get more time to think about your regrets, every
Yeah.
single one you had in your life. And um man, it's just important to really just go after it, man. And I just love the fact that they tied those stories together. I loved how interesting the May or excuse me, not the May, but the Christina and Isaac story was.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the flaws the movie has it, but I find it intriguing, and every time I watch it, I find something new, and I always appreciate films like that. So it's kind of my closing words on it. You got anything?
I don't. Everything that you just said. Shout out to love and finding your person, overcoming the hurdles.
Without question. So the average listener rates this film 6.1 out of 10. Rachel, was that too high, too low, or just right?
Too low.
What you going? I'm going 7.2. I
Mhm.
tell if you would have asked me after one watch, or my first watch, should I say, I would have said 6.5.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, I've got an idea for something. We'll discuss it later.
Ooh.
If you ask me a year from now what I thought about this film, could go up. It's definitely not going down.
Okay.
I don't think it will
Same.
anyway. So,
Same.
with that being said, we appreciate y'all for checking us out. Thanks for
Yeah.
listening. We definitely appreciate y'all. Can't say that enough. Love y'all out there. Continue to hit us up if you got anything that y'all just want to talk about, man. We really appreciate it.
Mhm.
With that being said, we got one more movie left for Romance Month. We got y'all going on. Check us out on that feed.
Check us
A lot of fun
out.
stuff. A lot of fun stuff at the Culture Garden podcast. So y'all be cool or y'all be cool.
Peace out. And cut.